So if you have a rebel tendency, these are my tips for rest and relaxation when you like what you're doing so much. Hi, it's me again, Elaine, and for today we're going to talk about rest and relaxation for rebel tendencies. So as I've talked so many times on this vlog, I have this rebel tendency. It's one of the 4 tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. If you'd like to know more about this, or if you'd like to take the quiz to know what your tendency is, you can go to quiz.gretchenrubin.com. She is not a sponsor and her website is not a sponsor of this vlog, but I just wanted to share that with you because it's a great way to get to know yourself better and to be more self-aware of what kind of tendency you have. So for rebel tendencies, we're not motivated by both internal and external factors. That means we're not motivated by ourselves and by other people. There are strategies that you can use as a rebel to go about creating habits even if you have a rebel tendency. And those strategies include the strategy of clarity, convenience, other people, and the strategy of identity. All of these things were talked about in another one of Gretchen Rubin's books, Better Than Before, if I remember it correctly. Okay, so let's get on to the tips for self-improvement. When you like what you do so much and you're in the momentum, it's kind of hard to take a break for a while because you don't want to lose that momentum and focus, right? I think it's still important for you to give your body rest and to make sure that that brain of yours is recharged so it can function better in the long term. Okay, so the first tip is 5-minute breaks. If you're familiar with the Pomodoro Method, you know what this is about. The Pomodoro Method is a method of doing focused work for 20 to 25 minutes, and then after that, you can take a break for 5 minutes and do it again for 20 to 25 minutes. And after 4 sessions of this, you can take a 15-minute break. This is a good way to actually dive into deep focused work, and it will actually allow you to focus on just one thing at a time instead of being all over the place and opening all the apps and social media or other things that might just disturb you and your work. So I know it's very tempting to continue working because, especially if you love what you do, you don't want to stop because you're in the zone. The problem with this is you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to wear your brain out. Our bodies have limits. Our brains have limits. Our minds have limits. And we have to honor those limits. We have to honor and respect those boundaries for ourselves so that we can work better in the long run. So as I've said, your brain needs to recharge. If you allow a 5-minute break into your work, you're able to perform much better than if you just bore yourself out all throughout the day. So what can you do in this 5-minute break? The first step is, of course, to try to hydrate yourself. Our bodies are composed of 75% water. So it's a no-brainer that we should be drinking more water, especially when we're working, when we're using all those brain cells. Another thing you could do is stretch. A little movement goes a long way because it improves your circulation. It allows your blood to flow back to your brain, and it's a good way for you to feel good also to go back to work again and continue doing that focused work. And lastly, you could also do a short meditation or deep breathing if you're not into meditation. Deep breathing is a good way for you to ground yourself back again. Another tip I have for rebel tendencies is to have 1 or 2 days of staycation. So we're all familiar with a vacation, right? You go to some place to escape, to unwind, to relax. Preferably that place has a beach or is close to nature, and we call it a vacation. But a staycation is like a mini vacation, but it's just at home. This is especially important if you feel like you're approaching burnout or you're feeling very stressed in your work. And if this is not possible for you because your work is continuous and you can't just have that 1 to 2 days staycation on a whim, I think it's also good to schedule it forward in your calendar. Schedule a day where you can actually take that 1 day or 2 days off, because a day of relaxing at home is so good to replenish yourself, to recharge yourself so that you can actually go back to your work feeling much better and much more energized. And also, you might find that staying at home can be as relaxing as actually going out to go on a vacation. It doesn't have the hassle of actually booking flights or traveling or going outside of the house. You can just stay there and do whatever you want to do to actually take care of yourself. And now the third tip is meditation. You know I'm going to mention meditation in this vlog, right? Because I keep mentioning it everywhere. Anyway, so you could take 10 minutes to meditate. It doesn't have to be a long session. You could just do whatever works for you, but 10 minutes is a good enough time. And if you don't have 10 minutes in your day, I don't know how you manage your time. I'm not very good at time management myself, but I do know that I have 10 minutes in my day to do something for myself. And if you're not fond of meditation, or if you've tried it many times before and it hasn't worked for you, deep breathing is also good. Just, inhale and exhale. And do it a couple of times. And I think just doing that is also some form of meditation, even if it doesn't really involve you closing your eyes or actually concentrating on something like your breathing. So in conclusion, I believe your body communicates with you all the time. You just have to listen to it. I know sometimes self-care might be the last thing on your mind when you're doing work you love. Your body is what you use to actually work. Your body also has its limits, and you're not a robot. We're not robots, we're humans, and we need to rest and relax and reconnect to the people once in a while in order for us to actually thrive and for us to actually improve on ourselves and our work. And with that, I believe that good work deserves great rest. So if you've done some kind of work today, please try to consider taking care of yourself, listening to your body, knowing if you're almost depleted, and don't let it get to that point where you just collapse and burn out. That's about it for our video for today. I'm so thankful that you're here listening to this, and see you again in the next video. Bye. Time manager, is that even a thing?